Hey guys, Andrew Douglas Lane here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, where I give you my unsponsored and unpaid honest thoughts and opinions as I review fragrances from the cheap brand all the way to the niche, luxurious, and expensive. And today, we're doing one that's a little bit more on the cheaper end, a designer fragrance that's not too high on the price range, and that's Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Elixir. This one's very popular. It's been around for quite a while. People know about it. There's people who absolutely love it. There's people who absolutely hate it. One thing I'll start off with before I even get into the marketing, the price, or the notes. I know it's very distinctive. So marketing wise, it's very distinctive and wonderful that they even have it like the gold bar style bottle, because it makes it stand out and it makes it its own thing. It's hard to not know what this is. If you see it, it's impossible. But I personally don't care for it because it just seems a little cheap, not really very mature. But at the end of the day, you know what? That's just my personal thoughts, and it's okay if you don't feel that way. But let's get into talking about what the notes are and what the marketing is. On their website, it says 1 Million Elixir, richer than ever before, for thrilling sensations, hand-picked ingredients, Turkish Damascena rose, osmanthus, and wild-grown tonka beans undoubtedly make this masterpiece composition stand out by the extreme quality of its raw materials. Deeply sensual, liquorous, davana vibrates. I don't know what that means. Davana vibrates with the power of smooth woods and black vanilla seeds. Supreme sensuality meets absolute long-lasting power. We all hope to hear that, don't we? But at the end of the day, it just says straight up Rose Damascena, Vanilla Absolute, and Cedarwood as the top heart note and base note. As far as price goes, before I start actually smelling it and reviewing it, $160 full price. This isn't on a discounter. $160 for the 3.4 ounce, which is what this is. And I'm not going to lie, I used to love this a lot. So I also have the bottle of the 6.8 ounce, which is not updating for me. $209. So to be honest, if you really love this, you can get a gigantic bottle of it for a pretty good price for what it's worth. And on discounters, if you was to go that route, I think that the 6.8 runs for like $90 or $100. So that's really good. But is the fragrance worth it? Again, it's up to you. So let's spray it and see how it smells. I hate this atomizer. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It's a hit or miss when you press the button down. Comes out like a little mist like that. But if you don't really smash it, like put a little good force on it, and I've had a handful of bottles, you don't really give it a good push, it has the tendency to shoot out kind of like a dog trying to take a whiz. So you got to just really give it a good push if you want to actually get the full experience. But even then, I just don't like this atomizer. Like I said, I don't really like this bottle. But it doesn't change the fragrance. It is very, very strong. When it comes out, it is very powerful, very room-filling, and also, in a way, sweet but kind of smooth. It has an underlying smoothness to it. But with the 1 Million Elixir, again, we're not going to sit here and compare this to the rest of the 1 Million line right now. Sorry, I get a little tongue twisted when it's early in the morning, and that's when I like to film these. But with the 1 Million Elixir, it's its own thing. It stands out for sure, 100% from the rest of the 1 Million line. If you've ever had a chance to smell them all, maybe I'll review them at some point, probably will. But this one has a very, very strong, robust vanilla tonka bean type of note. Tonka beans, if you don't know what they are, if you've never smelled them personally, like distinct as a material, has a vanillic, ambery type of feel to it. It's a bit different from more like vanilla pod or that type of vanilla ice cream type of fragrance. But they blended it together. And honestly, you only get like a hint of the rose fragrance coming over with this. Not too strong, not too overpowering. You're mostly getting a light amount of Damascena rose behind it. By the way, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but I do my best. You're mostly definitely getting that vanilla absolute. Very strong, very sweet and desserty. It's nice. It's really nice, but I don't love this as much as I love a lot of other fragrances that are similar or in the same type of family or category as this scent profile. I almost said flavor profile, because this does smell like a delicious sweet. And it's so sweet that you have to really want that type of thing because it lasts. This has extremely good for the price, extremely good projection and longevity. I've worn this a lot, and I can honestly say, like I said, you've got to like this, because when you put this on, I will say it gets a lot of compliments. People at large, especially ladies that I have been around and encountered, ironically, not my wife. My wife's not a big fan of this, but other women that I work around, they do really enjoy this. Out in public, when I've worn this, I've had people come up and make comments and say things to me as I walk by, which doesn't really happen as much as people in the fragrance community pretends it does. So when that happens, it gives you a sign that a fragrance is really doing something. It's very mass appealing. So definitely 1 Million Elixir does that. It gives you, if you're looking for people to appreciate how you smell and maybe even say something, it's very youthful, very loud, and very radiant. So as far as performance and projection and longevity goes, you're looking at 10 plus hours, especially depending on how much you spray, especially on clothes. On skin, maybe around like the 6 to 8 hour mark, depending on the person and your hormones and how much you sweat. It could even go a little beyond that. It definitely stays as an intimate skin scent up to 10 hours, depending on how much you put on, of course. But I would say keep this around 4 to 5 sprays if you really want it to come off of you, but you don't want to choke people out. I know people who wear this and do more than that, and I think you're insane. It's like, there's no way you're going nose blind to this, because I personally could never go nose blind to this like you would other fragrances. I'm about to review a handful of Dolce & Gabbanas, even light blue Eau Intense, and that one is different than the original light blue, very strong and very long lasting, but you still can go nose blind to that, whereas other people can still smell it. This one, on the other hand, you will never not be able to know that be aware of its presence, is the best way I can put it. So, because it has incredible projection, longevity, and the price in and of itself is great for how much you get, though I hate the packaging, I'd have to give it about an 8.5 because it has incredible performance and so forth, and the price is great. But when I get something to a 9 or above, that's because all age ranges would really, I know, appreciate it. And even though I know that anybody could enjoy this no matter how old or young they are, I think this sits in that realm where mostly it's going to be young people who like this. That's my experience, and that's how I feel like. Even as I've just matured a little bit more, I've pulled away from it as I've smelled things again from the same likeness, but more smooth, more mature, more stand out in its own unique way. This is just very loud, radiant, and young. So it's amazing. It's not bad at all. I do recommend getting a bottle and adding it to your collection, because there's those days you're feeling playful but sweet, and you want to be noticed, but you also want to be appealing to most folks around you. And just something delicious overall. Might even encourage you to continue to gain weight, as me and my wife just can't help ourselves but want cake and cookies, and this does not help that whatsoever. So I'm going to sit at about a nice 8.5. Great price, especially on discounters, but even full price. You get a lot out of it. You don't need to spray much because it's extremely strong and radiant and powerful. So overall, yeah, 8.5 is what I'm going to go with for Paco Rabanne 1 Million Elixir. And by the way, I know when you see me do these mess ups, you probably think, why don't you edit those out? I tried to leave these a bit unedited, just starting to add more cuts. But ever since I hit 100,000 subscribers recently, I'm still trying to go back to the roots of keeping it as unedited as possible, so that you guys see that I'm giving my raw thoughts. I'm not rehearsing this or anything like that, because I always want to keep it real on my channel. Again, I'm not sponsored, so I just want to tell you guys how I really feel about stuff. But remember, everybody's thoughts and opinions about fragrances or any art is overall subjective, and your mileage may vary. So I recommend go trying this if you're interested in it. If you've never smelled it yet, please go to a Sephora, go to a Ulta, anywhere they have this. Maybe even Nordstrom, but I'm not sure. But definitely Sephora and Ulta, places like that. And go give it a smell before you commit to buying it. But I think because of the price range, even if you blind buy, you're not really going to lose too much. So definitely give it a smell, but I'm saying 8.5 because it's got the performance, it's a good price, it's just a little too young for my personal taste. But Paco Rabanne 1 Million Elixir, 8.5, a great fragrance, just not necessarily for me these days, but still a fantastic fragrance overall. Good for summer, by the way. I want to throw that back out there. Good for summer, good for fall. You could wear it anytime you want to, because even though it's not listed in the notes, it almost has like an apple-y type of feel to it. There's like a sweet, fruity feel there, but it's just not listed in their note profile on their official website. But you're going to get like a sweet rose, vanilla, almost apple feel to it. So I think you can wear this anytime that you want to, no matter what time of year it is, and you can't go wrong. If you're young or old, whatever, it's a good everyday driver. So Paco Rabanne 1 Million Elixir, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Andrew Douglas Lane, the Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel. God bless each and every one of you. I truly mean that. I say it in every video, but I always mean it. Everyone, no matter who you are, is welcome here. Just want to encourage a good, welcoming, and loving community. So please tell me what you'd like to see me review. Tell me your thoughts. And again, like, subscribe, comment. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.